What's up, YouTube? It's me again. This video I want to speak on relationships. You feel me? I was going back and forth with a friend a few months ago, and we were throwing around video ideas. And he was like, talk about relationships, and I was like, you know what? You're right. So here we are, and this really talking about friendships, more than friendships, just relationships in general. First thing is, with relationships, you have to have a good relationship with yourself. You have to have a healthy relationship with yourself. I remember hearing something, a YouTuber, one of my favorite YouTubers, or he used to be anyway, he said something that really stuck with me. He said, you don't give from your source, you give from your overflow. Meaning that when you're giving, you're supposed to give from the overflow of good energy that you already have. You're supposed to, I guess you could say, you're supposed to kind of overdose yourself on good energy that you give yourself, and then that kind of spreads to other people. So I thought that was really cool, and I really like that, and I still hold that close to my heart even today. I mean, that kind of leads me to my next point. The things with relationships, they can't be one-sided. It's like, it has to go both ways. It can't be one person. It has to be like more or less a 50-50. It can't really be, and again, this is for relationships all across the board, for friendships, intimate relationships, whatever. It has to be more or less a 50-50. It can't be like a 60-40, or God forbid a 90-10 or anything like that. It's like, both have to be on the same page. And I kind of know this from personal experience, because in my case, I was talking, I have a friend, and we were talking, but it got to the point where our dialogue kind of grew stale. And I remember I was talking to her one night, and I noticed her energy was kind of off. Like she just wasn't feeling it. And I was like, I kept asking her, I was like, what's wrong? And she eventually was like, I feel like, in her words, she said, I feel like you're using me. And then when I tell you that hurt, because the thing about me is I don't like hurting people. I don't like making people uncomfortable, none of that. I'm not that type of dude. But so when I heard that, I was like, it hurt. I felt it. So it was to the point where I kind of wanted to jump ship just so I wouldn't hurt her anymore. But it was just like, it just can't be one-sided, because then it's not really a real relationship. It's more like a business exchange in a way. It's like there's nothing personal about it. It's I'm doing one thing, or you're doing one thing for me, and once that need is met, I have no more use for you. I'll come back when I need it again. That's what you do when you go grocery shopping. You get groceries, you run out, you go back in, you get more. It's like, relationships aren't supposed to be transactional like that. And lastly, and this is a big one, I know even now this is still like a big thing with people. It is fine to remain dolo in your actions and your endeavors. It is perfectly fine to remain dolo. You don't have to be up under somebody 24/7 to feel good about yourself or feel validated in any kind of way. And I kind of learned that the hard way, just because me personally, I'm more of a shy and reserved character by nature. So it was always really hard for me to find validation and confidence within myself. Not to say that I would necessarily go out and seek it in other people. It was just, I'd say, I find my light within others, which isn't bad, but you also have to find light within yourself. Again, you don't give from your source, you give from your overflow. There you go. See, you were paying attention. I mess with that. But yeah, no, it's perfectly fine to remain dolo. Like, I remember Gary Vaynerchuk. If you don't know him, if you're on the internet, you've probably at least heard of him. But I remember it was an Instagram post he made. He says, like, bruh, go to the restaurant by yourself. Go to the movies by yourself. Just get comfortable doing things dolo. Like, just get comfortable doing things without people. That way you're not relying on people you're not relying on people to make you happy. It's cool to kind of find your light in others and find good qualities about yourself in others, but it becomes problematic when you're relying on other people to do for you what you have to do for yourself. And that's a difficult thing to really do, because a lot of the times we're so caught up in ourselves that we don't really stop and smell the roses and think, be like, you know what, I'm actually a really dope person. That was really all I wanted to speak on. I don't really, I'm not gonna lie, I don't have much of an outro or anything yet, but yeah, if you're still here, thank you, I appreciate you, and till next time.